Welcome to the Stockinette Zombies. I'm Amy, also known as Janetma.
And I'm Megan, also known as Just Run Knit, and this is episode 151. The one with lots of celebrating and prizes.
Yes. Lots of drawing happened just now.
Yep. A good, I don't know, half an hour's worth, maybe. Okay, there was other things going on,
yes.
Set up and whatnot, but so we have lots of goodies. I've got a pile of goodies next to me. So if you aren't interested in all of that, there will be timestamps on when the finished objects start, and away we go. So the month of October self-striving sponsors were 716. She has this Beat Me colorway in the her 80/20 716 sock base, and then the Undead yarn is our other sponsor in October, which is very fitting. Undead yarn in October. The Vampire base and the colorway is Rotten Tail. I'll take it out here. Both are self-stripey goodness. So we had 2 through 2018. Ow, yowza! That have entered, and random number generator chose things from back in April.
Okay.
So just keep adding them in. The winners were $6.95 was the 716, and $5.65 was the Undead yarn. And Undead Yarn also has a podcast, I believe. And then 716 is also Knit Buffalo. So if you're lucky enough to be in the Buffalo area, you can go out and see her yarn truck. But 716, the 716 yarn is $6.95, as I previously said, which is Kelly M. Schmitz. You get the Beat Me colorway. And $5.65 is Stephanie, with a fun in there, I think, because Stephanie. So contact me and I'll get these shipped out to you. So you will have more self-stripey in your stash. Those socks you entered didn't decrease your stash level any. I think they're both socks. We've got other things in there. I've been knitting. My entries have been hats. Yeah, fun. We also had the Twist Fiber Studio, which her why can't I think of the name? It got funded. The Kickstarter has been funded now, but she's got some yarn that she'll be sending your way, and Amy drew for that one.
So we had 185 entries, or 184 because I was the first. So 2 through 185, and the winner is 100. And that is Nature Nerd 87. So contact me, and then I will give your information to the Twist Fiber Studios, and they will send you that orange yarn.
Cool. Next up, we have the Rhinebeck sweater, which was kind of just a sweater that you knit in the past 2 months for a fiber festival that you could be going to, or just anything. Apple picking.
Yep.
Trick-or-treating could be your trick-or-treating, or your Halloweener.
Your Halloweener.
Sweater. Yes, kind of a joke from this past weekend. We had a good laugh about somebody calling trick-or-treating Halloweeners.
Yeah.
Trick-or-treaters Halloweeners. Anyway, we didn't have any specific prizes for that, so Amy and I got to see the wonderful Jeanette of Sun Valley Fibers this past weekend in Stillwater, and we decided that 6 skeins of her BFL DK would fit the bill, and then you get to choose the color. So, it's not just us thrusting a colorway upon you. You get to hem and haw and decide what to have Jeanette dye up for you. And we had 98 entries in there, so 2 through 98, and the winner was 87. That is Patty Matt, and she eked in at the end of October. I closed it down kind of in the first 2 days of November, but everybody counted that got it in before I locked, and 87 Patty Matt. If you want to contact me, we can get you in contact with Jeanette, and away we go. You will have some another sweater quantity. Again,
Woohoo.
you did not decrease your sweater quantity by knitting that sweater. And last but certainly not least, in celebration of our birthday, we had the birthday kits, and we've got the 2 different style bags, or not style, but patterned bags, and the yarn and the magnet and the keychain and the postcards. And so we drew for 2 of those. Thanks to everybody that posted a cake picture. I thought those were really fun and inventive. I've been really enjoying all of the pictures. The Halloween self-stripies were fun too, to see everybody's Halloween self-stripies. But there were 281 entries in the birthday kits thread, and we drew for 2 names, and random number generator drew 6 and 26. So 6 is Sock Nubbins, that's Christy, and she posted an octopus cake that really looked like an octopus.
It was crazy.
And 26 is a Acataca, Acataca, which I think you could make out of the component parts of DNA, couldn't you? Acata. I think those are all. Anyway. And that Cassie, and she posted a delicious looking carrot cake. My husband loves carrot cake. So I think we won't have choices. They're both lovely. Random distribution to you two. And enjoy that pink yarn. Oh, it's so fun. And then you can participate. Isn't that fun? Participate in our upcoming KAL.
Our now KAL. It's here.
It's here. Now. Yeah. So that is that. Cool. Yeah. Lots of prize winners. Lots of lucky folks this week. And thanks to everybody that participated. We know that there's a lot more participants. Many may enter, few will win, as the radio says. Yep. And then just other random administrati. Go check out the current KALs that are going on out there. Lots of ways to participate. I think we've kind of lumped it under gifting. So, yes. And away we go. Did you have any shenanigans that you wanted to speak of, other than we went to Stillwater this past weekend?
My only, really shenanigan things, whatever you want to say.
Shenanigan-y?
Yeah, this evening my daughter had a minor meltdown over a stuffed sheep that was also a soap, wash yourself thing. And
like a loofah?
Yeah, but I don't know.
Like a scrubby?
Yes, like a scrubby. But it wasn't traditional, and it stayed wet way too long, in my opinion, and it may have snuck out of the bathroom. But yeah, minor meltdown about Sheepy not being there for bath, and so I did not realize how much Sheepy meant to somebody, and so.
Was it handmade?
No, it was just something that
was Sheepy.
I got it as a gift from my husband's aunt for some Christmas. I don't remember when. And yeah, it became her favorite bath toy apparently, and I did not realize. So we are on the hunt for other replacement animal bath toy things.
Fun.
I remembered one from the Shark Tank, and I looked it up, and wow, that one was pricey. So I'm not sure we're going to be getting that one. But yeah, Bed Bath & Beyond has some, but it's the head on top of a regular scrunchy thing. So this one was actually more like a real toy with sponge material inside of it, and I don't know how we're ever going to replace it, but I guess we can try.
I personally wanted to thank any and all that came and spent time with us this past weekend. It was a good getaway, kind of low-key, and just got to sit around and talk and hang out with folks. Darn It Anyway did a fantastic job, as they always do. They're a wonderful yarn shop. Yeah, We had several people stop by and be like, why are you all here? Is this like a knitting group that gets together?
We were at capacity, if not beyond.
Yeah.
So that's why they might have had a little bit of a squinty eye at us.
Yeah.
Because
we were taking over part
Yeah.
of the store. It made it hard
Pretty
to
much.
get through certain areas. But I think that was fun. If we get much bigger, we may have to look at like, instead of Sun Valley Fibers having the classroom, like
having us have the classroom for ourselves.
Yeah. But got to meet lots of new friends, got to see existing friends that we've seen in previous years, and at the Zombie Apocalypse. And yeah, good shopping, good eating, good chatting. It was good. We brought the girls, so our daughters came along, and Ellie is all about knitting now. After seeing, I mean, I don't feel like she did a great deal of knitting this past weekend.
Right.
But enough.
She saw enough that it absorbed.
And then she finished the washcloth that she knit for a gift for somebody, and now she has cast on a hat, and I'm kind of not Elizabeth Zimmerman her, but like like she's like, how many should I cast on? And like, let's just make it so it's enough to fit around my head, because she's going to knit her teacher hat. And it's with that yarn. It's kind of scratchy, from Yarn Harbor from like 2 yarn overs ago. It's kind of a tricky wicket, because sticky wicket, I think is the word I'm looking for. Tricky widget, sticky wicket. I don't want to give her really nice yarn, because she's been sitting on top of this
other yarn.
It was just cotton, but dishcloth. She had that since the beginning of when I knit those washcloths for my mom, and she wanted to knit a washcloth out of some of my cashmere, and I was like, no. And so, but I don't. I gave her this kind of not the nicest yarn, and then she's making something for someone, and it'll be my luck. She'll actually finish that something. And it'll be like, oh man, I wish I had given you better yarn, good yarn. But yeah, she's all about it. She learned purl. I taught her to purl.
I think it's like Shetland yarn. I mean, it's a workhorse yarn.
You would definitely do well too, and it's worked well for her, because like if she drops stitches, it's sticky enough to itself that like it doesn't like just go like, it's like, oh well, 2 rows down you dropped a stitch, and here I can fix it, because it just kind of stayed there versus kind of so
That's true. I still have some of that.
This is purple.
Mine's reddish, but like a rusty red. Probably wouldn't go well with purple.
But yeah, she came up with it all on her own. She's going to knit some rows, and then she's going to purl she's calling it like the pearl stripe hat is what she's calling it. She's very inquisitive. She's smart. She's a smart cookie. Like, so when I was knitting, I knit 2 together. Can I do that with pearls too? Yes, you can. So she's getting it figured out. And yeah, that's been fun to just had some daughter and mommy moments, and I get to be on the other end of the, come on Ellie, it's time to get in the bath when I finish my row. And I deserve it, because I say it so many times that to hear it from somebody else is apropos. Yes. All right, finished objects.
I was gonna say Lucy did not catch the knitting bug, and has been writing stories and drawing per usual. But let's see. This is my only FO. Yarn.
Yes.
So this is Sun Valley Fibers in the Poolside colorway, and it, I believe, is a superwash BFL. It got a nice wool wash, and it smells good and everything. So, yeah, I don't know the yardage because I haven't bothered to count, and now it's too late. I'm guessing it's a little over 200 yards. It may be a little under. I'm not sure, but just looking at it.
3-ply? Did you say?
No, this is a 2-ply. My 3-ply is still on the wheel and is going crazy. But this is what I had to ply in order to get my woolly winder bobbins back. So I needed my special bobbins so that I could ply the Mega yarn, which is 6 ounces of 3-ply, and it's going to be a sock weight. Yeah, so hopefully.
But this got started during Tour de Fleece?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe during Tour de Fleece was a lot about the spindle spinning, but this, I did get these singles done, and I did not ply them. They sat on the bobbins for a very long time because I wanted to do a lot of singles during Tour de Fleece. So I got these done, and I started my 3-ply sock yarn singles right away. And I only got through 1 bobbin, and then Tour de Fleece ended. And so I had to do 2 other bobbins of that yarn, and then now it's finally coming together. So this is one of the skeins that resulted. Yay. I was very unhappy with the cat because the cat takes an extra interest in these yarns when they are on the wheel. So my singles get cut by kitty teeth if I don't like shroud the thing. So I have a blanket that goes all the way around the wheel and the singles, and it masks it. It's like a cover up, and then she'll forget about it and she won't chew on it. But if I leave it out with the plies just sitting there, they get cut by kitty teeth. It gnaws on them until they cut. And yeah, so that was something I got to learn about my kitty, and it was not fun. So there's like a big flub in this somewhere that's like my singles were cut and I had to put them back together. And when I end up knitting with this, it'll be probably cut out and magic knotted.
Yeah, I'm spoiled by my very veteran and seasoned
yes,
lazy cats.
This was definitely the kitten in the family that drive me crazy.
Drives me crazy.
But that is it for finished things.
Okay, I have a hoe that I worked on all weekend. It is kind of a sad hoe. Like standing on the corner, sad hoe. It looks very thin, but this is stretchy. It's the skip rib, and it fit all weekend on Miss Eleonora's foot. I just brought her along so she could try it on the sock.
That's the only reason.
Yeah, that's the only reason. And then it doesn't fit over the heel. So it's stretchy, but it's not stretchy enough to fit over the heel on her foot or Dexter's foot, and it just barely fits on Quentin's. So I'm going to either experiment. I have an idea for a new afterthought heel, like a variation on the afterthought heel. So I might try that, but it's kind of beside the point. Like, I was making these tube socks for a reason. And so lesson learned. I need to cast on a lot more stitches and have it be stretchy and collapse down, but I need that extra. It needs the extra through the heel area for sure. So there's that. And then I finished, before we went to Stillwater, my old growth. I'm going to try to show off the little leaf slash tree motif down in the corner, which is offset by the asymmetrical Henley. Had a few people comment to me that they were a little worried that it looked like a breastfeeding top when I had it on last week. But the addition of the buttons, I love these green buttons that we picked out. Amy came and helped me at Jenny's. I think it accents it, and doesn't make it look like a breastfeeding top. I haven't seen a lot of asymmetrical Henley, so I kind of feel like a unique flower, like people could be like, hey, she knit that herself. Which to some people could be a backhanded compliment, but to me, it's like, no, I handcrafted this puppy. It is out of the Infinite Twist Helix, which I really like. Again, very stretchy. I need to knit a swatch and throw it into the washing machine because this is not specified to be superwash. And while I play free and loose with other things. I really, really like this, and I've worn it now, and I don't want it to change. So in the past, you know, I really like the green, and I really like the texture, and I just really like it. I have like 500 yards left. I was thinking about possibly turning that into Josh's Celtic Secret shawl, which I think is knit on a fingering, but I think I could make it work. But yeah, it's I love the fabric that it has created, and washing and blocking it, I don't want that to change it. So it's this is from Tin Can Knits. I said old growth already. Can't think of anything else. I added a little bit through here to make it come up a little higher. After in the pattern, it doesn't call for any decreases in the garter section around the neck, and I added some decreases so that it would lay less open and more closed. And I can't think of anything else. I love it. And that is all. Cool. Finished objects. Fiend. Good. Fiend. Double. Fiend. Yes. What you working on there?
I got on a bit of an Alexis Winslow graphic knits kick. So this is the trilogy, and it has a lot of triangles in it. So I started with the main triangle, and then I added the contrast color just tonight, and it's going reverse stockinette.
And that was the part that you couldn't really see really well, but you really noticed in person.
Yeah,
like in the book. Not that the pictures weren't good.
Yeah, the pictures were fine, but yeah, it didn't draw your eye as much as it did in person. And so this is, yeah, the construction is such that I probably should put it down for now. More pattern reading to do.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, and again, I could probably keep going, but I kind of want to be able to lay it out and look at it and make sure that it's shaping up correctly. She has schematics, so I can at least go, okay, this is the triangle that I'm working on, and this is the new one that's growing, and it all looks good. But I haven't done that yet.
What's your yarn?
I actually bought this at Darn It Anyway with our generous discount. This is Frog Tree Alpaca Sport, and she calls for an alpaca sport, and so it should fit the bill.
Is that 100%?
Yep, 100% alpaca sport. And I don't think anything else, but yeah,
you were going more subtle, and now you're got kapow.
Yeah,
contrast.
There was another teal there that was a little lighter than this, but also had a little bit different makeup, right? Different blues and yellows in it, so it did look off putting them together. But when asking a few people around, they all thought that I should do the high contrast and not be subtle, especially with the color palette that I was choosing. And it was all based on what they had in stock because I wanted to work on it. And I also thought that this was a good price to work with. And I didn't want to go crazy or wait a couple weeks for webs. So, which was a possibility because I could have gotten the yarn that the pattern called for in whatever color I wanted out on webs and gotten a discount. But again, would have had to waited to cast on. It was kind of, I don't know.
Hankering?
Yep, hankering, and it was the only other thing I bought besides like a pair of cute socks that I left at home, and what else? Oh, and then I bought white Quince & Company. So I'll tell my story right now. I bought some Quince & Company, and I ordered it online, and the picture didn't match. So the very first picture when you come into the Chickadee page, it says sedum, which is this orangey color, and it's the first in the row, but the picture is the default stock picture of white. And so right then and there I knew I wanted white, and I don't know their colorway names, and so I clicked add to cart and then picked out the other two colors I wanted and didn't even think twice about it, ordered it, and then noticed while I was at Darn It Anyway that egret is the white and sedum is orange, or what, sedum, whatever the colorway was. It was not white, and I had a little bit of like a moment. So I bought the one skein of egret that they had left in Chickadee so that when my yarn came I could start my project. But I wrote them a letter immediately saying, this is what I think I did, and oh my gosh, so silly of me. And they they did refer me to their return policy page, but I screen captured what had happened to me and explained that I really just need one more white and I don't want to pay $6 shipping for it. And so they were nice enough to refund me my shipping on my one skein of white. So I will be getting my egret that I need for my project, and that was very nice of them. Because it was an honest mistake, and now that I see how their website works, yeah, I can see how I need to click to get the right colors, and they will all be in hanks, not balls, if they're not a stock photo. And so I won't make the mistake again, and I was very happy that they were able to help me get the yarn I needed. But that's my little Quince & Company story. So I will go back to my whips. I got the sleeves onto my Ginny. So,
Stopped in the middle of the road.
Yeah, I did. Okay. So, I need to go quite a bit more before I start decreasing, because this is done yoke style. And so yoke style I need to build up a little bit more, and then we'll decrease a lot rapidly.
Got it.
And then so
it's not like a raglan.
Right. It's not like a raglan where every other row you're decreasing or every row you're decreasing. This is like you go straight for a while and then you decrease a bunch. You go straight for a while and you decrease a bunch.
And it all blocks out.
And it all blocks out, yeah. And I looked at the picture very carefully after I read the instructions, and I do think that it looks okay, and I can see why they did it that way. So I am going to follow the instructions, and I am excited. This is what's left of the two balls that were on the lower side of, so not the sleeves, but the main part of the body was just two skeins of yarn. And this is the leftover from that. And I have leftovers from the sleeves, and I'm going to go ahead and work those in with this yarn. And then hopefully I have two more balls of yarn.
Wow.
I should be able to incorporate them somehow, but also have plenty to make.
And then button bands?
Yep, button bands and stuff like that, yeah.
Yep.
But I want to make sure that everything's blending in, because then the button bands might look like a completely different color, and that I don't want. So
better that than a line on your shoulder, though, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yes. I'm hoping that.
Yeah, you notice it a lot less because that is already a line, right? But you would notice it. I agree. If you can do some blending.
Yes, I'm hoping to blend, but I'm not ready to blend yet because I still have the sleeve
yarn to blend.
The sleeve yarn to blend in, and then I will worry about blending in the other two skeins. I probably will only need the one though. That's the hard part.
Well, bam!
So this it's got a little bit of shaping around the neck. This is my Sweetness, and it's going along just great. It is also a yoke construction. So it's all bunched up on the needles right now, so I can't show you. But I like the needle length right now, so because it's making everything go nice and smooth. No pausing to scrunch needle sizes and whatever. Yeah, I really like the polka dots, and they are very bright.
How many rounds of polka dots do you have?
So I'm on the 3rd, and there's 2 more.
Okay.
And then I will be done with the polka dots, and I think that that's the only. I don't think there's details around the bottom or the sleeves either. So it'll be.
Zoom zoom.
Yeah. Yep. Nothing else to do. The rest of it will be blue.
Fun.
Yeah. And
like a hat or something with the orange.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna love having leftovers of these 2 colors. Let me tell you, I really am.
Yeah.
These are fun. And this is actually, it's supposed to be neon peach, but there's a lot of pink in it. When you get it up close.
And talking color theory with Megan of Cyborg's Craft Room, she kind of mentioned that pink and yellow and orange, and they are all kind of
on the spectrum.
Yeah.
Together.
People don't realize that some of the reason they like orange is because it has some pink in it, or pink because it has some orange in it.
So I wanted to share that I turned my heel on these ever progressing socks. And that's my fault, nobody else's. Yeah. So I'm up at the.
And that is not a self-striping yarn. It is
no,
just kind of striping. Yeah.
Yeah, it is one of those happy accident stripings. And I don't know, every time I pull them out I want to work on them, but at the same time I've got so much going on. And I didn't bring my daughter's socks. I was going to do the Bunny Fish tube sock formula on those. And
I should have done that.
Well, I'm giving it a try. I'm not much for winging it the first time I try something. So this is the first time I've made tube socks. So it sounds like she has made a bunch of them. Heather has made a bunch of them for her own family, and this formula works well for her. So that's what I'm going to do. Give it a try. It might not be exact. Because I started the socks before I read the formula, but I get the idea. There is ribbing of a certain patterning, and then you increase that as you go up, so that you go from stockinette to a little bit of rib, so it gives a little bit more, and then you go with a little bit more rib, so it gives a little bit more, and so hopefully when you slip those socks on, they don't get heel bound.
Yep, which is what happened to my wonderful socks. But
so yeah, and this has been just bus knitting, so it's been moving along pretty nicely for bus knitting.
Super fun. I bet you got all kinds of oohs and ahs on the bus about that.
Yeah. Nobody pays attention.
I forgot. When I was showing off my FO, I was going to tell a story. I was having my husband take finished object photos, and he always does it begrudgingly. And the goofy smile that I have on my project page is because my son came and photobombed me, Quentin. And so I was showing Quentin the photo on my phone of him photobombing me, and he looked at me and he said, "Mom, you're smiling because you love your yarn shirt." Yarn shirt. And I was like, "Yep, I do love my yarn shirt, Quentin." And I can't remember, I think I shared that with somebody. They were like, "Well, it's better that than your hair shirt." And I was like, "Yes, that's true." But yes, I thought the things kids say, right?
That's funny. Yarn shirt, Mom.
Yep, you love your yarn shirt, don't you, Mom? And I was like, yes, I do. I tried to cast on several times throughout the weekend my On the Grass out of...
I would just like to say, I knew that this color was wonderful, and then I saw it out on Instagram and whatever, and I was like, that's not the color I remember. The picture not doing it justice at all.
Mm-hmm. And this is you're probably not going to get much better on the camera just doesn't quite know what to do with it.
No, it doesn't.
It's
It
like,
doesn't. It really doesn't, because again, I was like, that's not the color I remember.
Yeah. It's pretty fantastic. I think
Cool color.
that On the Grass loves itself some crazy. Like, it was like, give me your crazy. I will love it, and I will, nurture it. And the On the Grass pattern just does wonderful things with crazy yarns. That said, when I bought this biography base from Fable Fibers, I told her that I was going to be making a garment out of it, and she tried to get things as copacetic and as she possibly could. But it's a colorway, Pearl Jam, that has a lot of. It's got a Bazinga, like evergreeny green. It's got purples. It's got grays. It's got darker purple areas. It's got a lot going on. So, but it's just been a joy. I'm practicing my my picking, knitting, and purling with it, because it's double seed stitch down through here. So that's just every other stitch is a knit and purl until you switch it up every 2 rows. And really like the neckline. I did do my modification of adding 2 stitches, which is why I was having trouble casting on. I couldn't quite get my brain wrapped around the provisional cast on, which is up here at the shoulders, so that you can work both directions, and then adding these 2 sides. Anyway, it was just, I was distracted. There's nothing wrong with the pattern. It's very well written. I just couldn't get it going. So yeah, I added these so that when I pick up the stitches on this side, there's a nice little knit ridge here, rather than picking it up into the purl, because that's what I noticed on a lot of the project pages, that picking up into that purl made it look kind of like you noticed it. Now it's more of an intentional ridge that you're going to see purling on the other side of, but it will be going the opposite direction. So we'll see. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. So it could be an epic fail and not look well at all, but I'm hoping that it's going to do good. And this is for Nanny Swimo, and I'm down at the bottom rib. It's been zoom. So that is my one work in progress, other than that sock. Nanny Swimo. 5 days. I've got a lot of needle adjacent projects that are sitting over here, so
Miss Ma'am needs 3 Nanny Swimos.
I may need to. My Sophie's Toes, I'm gonna make a Rayers or something to that effect. I don't know if I'll be following the pattern exactly or doing some of my blending of stripes, but basically a tube scarf with multiple colors out of my Sophie's Toes. And my daughter, I had this bright Bazinga pink yarn in my stash from Joey's Baby Silk Queensland collection. I believe this was a Webb's purchase at one point when my daughter was smaller and I was going to knit a dress out of it. And I'm going to try that graceful pullover, which I talked about from Elegant Economy. So this is a like heavy fingering / sport, so we'll see what comes out of it. But yeah, that's another something that's going to be on the needle sooner rather than later.
Yes, Ellie packed all her hand knits and wore them that weekend, and my daughter packed 0.
And I was like, Ellie, you don't have to wear them. Mom, I'm going to a knitting thing. Like, I'm not going to wear my knits. And I was like, okay. And I think she sees, I go to Stitches and I pack the things that I'm going to wear, and she sees that. She also took her knitting to show and tell and told me that, because she's all about knitting now all of a sudden, I don't know where she gets this extreme obsessive behavior. But she said that there was other girls in her class that were talking about yarn bombing, and that they've done that with their mom. Their mom knit, and she also has been wearing her knits to school, because every day she has to like sign up to do the show and tell, and she might not get in. So she keeps on wearing knits so that she has the prop to say. Anyway, I have a few other purchases other than what.
Well, I have a nap.
Because I need Joel adjacent country.
Because everybody keeps talking about this cowl, and I have a lot of scraps.
Ooh, yes.
I am going to do a super scraptastic one.
Ah.
I kept thinking.
That's lovely. What is that?
This one?
Mm-hmm. That's gonna make that cowl, by the way.
I know. That's super bright.
Mm-hmm.
So I have some darks, I have some blues, I have some mustardy yellow. I mean, it's all
some of your balls.
But I wanted you to get the idea. It's
Okay.
going to be super scrappy.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to have a lot of colors. Yours has 3. Mine's going to have a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and there's.
But if you combine 3 colors, and they can be on their own as well. You
Yes.
get 5 variations.
No, I get.
Okay.
So, yeah, this will be fun, and figuring out which order to put them in to make the most aesthetically pleasing will be fun.
And this will be for you?
It will be for the basket of stuff that I knit without a purpose. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, again, I feel bad like having that, but when you want to knit something, you want to knit it. And It doesn't really matter where it goes.
Yeah, I think mine's going to be for my mom or my brother. Both of those are their color palettes, and I think my brother was saying gray is would match well with his winter coat. So might have enough to do both. I don't know.
I suppose if I happen to get it done, it could be for my sister-in-law.
Mine had a intended recipient, so I thought I would mention it. I got sent these wonderful socks by Bacon Fairy.
I didn't bring mine. Bacon Fairy sent me some lovely socks.
Yeah, so it's got some trees up here, and then there's a leaf motif, and I believe this is a fish lips kiss heel.
And I will say that mine are very large. They fit my husband and me interchangeably. So, which was fine because he said that if I did not want them, he would totally take them off my hands.
Yeah.
And then, and I believe that Bacon Fairy says that she is to socks as Megan is to sweaters.
It's true. That's true. So I don't know. I didn't go look, but I love this green.
And this pattern, I can't get over the trees. It's so fun.
And it's kind of got like branches up top where there's some open work. It's very cool. And it's tall. They're tall socks. I've been enjoying that about them because I don't knit myself that tall of socks. I have huge skeins of yarn, or huge ball of yarn left over, so I should, but I don't. And then Witty Knitting gave me a very pretty green, gorgeously green-tastic bag. I have some stuff that coordinates with this, but I really love the leaf. That's the. It's like people know I love leaves. And yeah, so she's got the Foxes and Socks podcast, and she was there this past weekend as well. So thank you, Beth.
Yes, we like Beth very much.
Yes.
I got one too. It is pink and purple and has more cat fabric showing. But I left it. I left all the things.
There was a lot of the things to talk about this week. So, and then I also got brown dog bags.
Yeah,
she's got a new style bag. She's calling it the Yarn Bowl, I think. So you can hang on to it by the. I love those handles. I will throw my phone in there and possibly my wallet, and that is my little ad hoc purse. But it's got a nice little snap. You could also be working out of it should you feel the need to. But mine is a chevron-y with a deep red interior. And yours is kind of what would you call the outside fabric? It's not a paisley. It's kind of paisley-esque.
Yeah, paisley-esque. It's a very, very pretty, and she had it in another color too.
So look for those in brown dog bags. We got the prototype first batch, so super excited about that.
Yeah, it's nice and different.
And then Darn It Anyway has a huge selection of Quince & Co., which is how we figured out her egret and sedum. And I was drawn to the owl base, which is 50% merino, 50% alpaca. And, oh, no, it's not merino, it's wool. I can't remember what the type of wool, it just says wool. This is the owl with tweedy bits, so it's called Owl Tweet. And I was telling Amy that I magic knotted these and turned my 9 skeins into mega 300 gram skeins a piece. So I'm thinking that I'm going to substitute this in for a Brooklyn tweed or pattern in for a Brooklyn tweed shelter yarn. Or actually, I think I must have taken it out of the bag. I might make the Julie Hoover, which is kind of Brooklyn tweed adjacent, the Chalaire out of it. I don't know if I have enough though, with only 900 and some yards. I think the minimum is 1,000.
So to see how people did with their yardage.
I did.
Okay.
And some of them are much higher than that, and some of them are right on. But it's kind of a short sleevey. I don't know. I just wouldn't want it to be too short sleevey, and I think it's knit from the bottom. Anyway, all things that I could talk about later. But this color is, again, the camera is going to struggle to capture it, but ciao! And it's got a really wonderful hand, and this is the tweediness that I didn't get at Rhinebeck.
Yeah.
So
it's very nice. I have a lot going on.
Yes, I've got a Jimmy Beans wool that's in the mail, and I got a lot. I think when I start knitting sweaters, I feel like I can just keep replenishing.
Yeah.
So I never make a dent. I just keep going. I just got an
added
sweater quantity.
Add.
Yep.
And it's a traditional cue where things like might leave through the middle.
Yeah. Well, I've been really bad about putting my new stuff on Ravelry. So if I'm pattern searching, I will gravitate to the old stuff because it's the only thing that's there, like calling to me when I'm looking at it on the computer and I'm not like deep in my stash. And my stash, I have it in Tupperware, not Tupperware, but in the totes, the big plastic tote bins. And so I kind of have to dig through it to kind of, have a mood wall, be looking specifically for something. But last, we wanted to get in because she sent a really wonderful coupon code through the end of November. Mint Rain, and I'll link her, is offering a 10% off her already really reasonably priced yarn. I think this self-striping was $25.
Okay.
And she's out of Michigan. Zombies 10. You get 10% off. And this is Ocean Depths, which is a really deep purple, a teal, and then my chartreuse that I just am in love with. And it's self-striping. And she's got a lot of these where she's got self-striping and variegated. And I really love Amy's. And I see that she's got a self-striping of Amy's as well. And I think I might need to go get it.
Yeah, it's hot pink, that super leafy green, and gray. And I really like this color of gray. Oh, and the gray has the bleed in is really pretty too. The variegation. You had it. She opened it up and looked at it, and I was like, oh, I almost want the variegated now. Yeah.
Like it's
very cute.
Yeah, and that one's aproposly named.
Yes, it's the Zombie Love.
And yours is Tough Sock. Is mine Tough Sock as well?
I don't know.
25%.
Yeah, mine's got nylon in it for sure.
Yeah,
yours better, otherwise it's going to be a hat.
Yes, and I don't know this is my next self-striping that's on the needle, so you'll get a review of the yarn base and how it knits up, but I don't know what it's going to be.
Okay.
I don't know what it's going to be. I do know that for our KAL, I will be trying to knit your Happy Mountain crown out of the leftovers from that, from my On the Grass out of Fable Fibers, because I've got 2 more skeins and I just dipped into that skein and all I've got is the sleeves.
Okay.
So I should be able, it will be reminiscent of the one I think why I'm thinking I'm going to knit it with that is because you have your one that's Leading Med Fiber Arts, Metamorphosis. Right. So this is kind of like a darker Metamorphosis in my mind. Yeah, yep. So.
Yeah, I did have somebody comment today that that they thought that the 4s and 5s that this is knit with was a little tough on their hands. So again, just be aware that if you change needle sizes, to check your gauge, and if it's not working out, you might need more yarn than a single ball can accommodate.
Yep.
I thought I'd put that out there because she did.
Well, this is DK, so it might be a little easier to
that's true.
To work up.
Yeah, and again, this is the worsted base, but it was fairly it wasn't a super dense worsted weight. It was nice. It was a good size, and I did not have trouble when I was knitting this. But I'm also used to knitting stuffies with like size 3 needles with this weight yarn,
which is true.
So and that doesn't even hurt my hands. So
yeah, go out, check out her self-striping, check out her variegateds, check out that you can get, I don't know, I haven't seen a lot of shops that are like that, where you can get the same colors in self-striping and variegated. I know like Desert Vista Dye Works does that with her monthly colors. But this shop was interesting and unique to me, and thank you to Katie of Mint Rain for that generous coupon code and for sending us yarn to try out and review. You wooed me with that green.
Yeah, it's very bright.
Over the top.
Very bright.
But yes, over the top.
And I'm still feeling bad that people are having their hands hurt while knitting my pattern. So it wasn't my intention, I'm sorry. Apparently
when I wrote this, it was to hurt your hand. No, nobody would think that.
No, but I just
yes, you do feel bad.
I do.
You can't.
Bad.
Nothing you can do about it, but you do feel bad. Yep. And that is that. We have many exciting announcements out on the Zombie Knitpocalypse board. Haven't talked about that in a while, as far as the wonderful vendors that will be in our marketplace, and there are still a few more to be added to the end of that. The news there is that we're moving to the Marriott ballrooms. Marriott. I said that very. Marriott ballrooms that will have some more aisle space and hopefully have a less crowded shopping experience. Not that I felt like our other one was crowded, but I do think that we could have some more aisle space.
Yep.
For when things are that first deluge.
Yep, and it should be brighter, we hope.
And cooler.
And cooler.
Because that room seemed like it did well with the air conditioning. But yeah, we've got exciting things planned for how to get involved before the Zombie Knitpocalypse. But first things first, we're going to get those vendors lined up, and then more exciting announcements will be coming soonly. 2015 is so close.
It's just close.
We're talking about it in work with project planning, and it's just like it's foregone conclusion. It's 2015 already.
It does feel like that. Every once in a while I'm writing my check and I'm like, oh yeah, we haven't made it there yet.
Yep. So, thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Bye, Ufta.